Weirdo. Paul is making faces at me from the window. What I put up with. Hello and welcome once again to my porch for another Tag Tuesday. I was tagged once again by Kim over at A Girl and Her Phone. She did the questions this week, so they are much easier than the ones that we got from Jimmy and Sandy from Let's Get Fit with Sandy. So I appreciate that, Kim. I really do. Number 1, do you have a birthmark? I do not. That was simple. Number 2, if your personality is an animal, which animal are you? Now, I have an affinity for crows, but that's not the animal that my personality would be reflected in, I don't think. I would have to say it would be a cat, because for 2 reasons. First, because they can be very lovey, and if you've ever watched my friend Jennifer Lynn, you know what I'm talking about. They can be very lovey, and then the next second they're biting at your fingers. So that could be me. I can sometimes be a little quick to turn depending on my mood, the situation. And secondly, if you've ever seen the videos where people put down cucumbers and a cat turns and gets scared, not from cucumbers, but that's me. I get scared very easily, and Paul is constantly making fun of me for it because I just get so caught up in my own thoughts in my head that I'm not aware of my surroundings. So I turn and suddenly he's standing there and scares the crap out of me. So I would have to say a cat for those 2 reasons. Are there monsters under the bed? Of course there are monsters under the bed. I love horror. Why wouldn't there be monsters under the bed? There are monsters everywhere. Closet, the bed, the attic, everywhere. What is your middle name? My middle name is a family name. It's Cornell, like the university, although I don't think we have any connections to it. I was named for my father, so his middle name is also Cornell. It's from my great-great-grandfather, maybe even another great, and I can't remember now if it was his child or his father. I think it was his child. His name was actually Yelverton, so at least I didn't get that name. Although I think that would be cool, very unique at least. What magazine cover would you like to be on? Well, if you've been following any of these Tag Tuesdays, you know I've always wanted to be a writer. So I think I would have to say Writer's Digest. That, with maybe the headline about #1 bestseller. It's nice to dream. What's your favorite sandwich? And again, if anyone has followed these tags, you might know the answer to this one already. It would be a triple-decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich, where you make like a peanut butter sandwich, then put jelly on, and then another piece of bread. That was my go-to all the time, and it's still a very satisfying, comforting food. So I would have to say a triple-decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What's your favorite smells? Well, I love the smell of bacon cooking. But would that be my favorite? That is one of my favorite smells. I mean, I like floral scents and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, I think if I had to go with my favorite right now off the top of my head, I would have to go with bacon cooking. Love that smell. And the taste is good too. Do you now have you ever watched soap operas? Yes, I have. I don't now. There aren't very many left nowadays anyway. But when I was growing up, my mother used to watch As the World Turns and Guiding Light. So those were the ones that I got hooked into. And for a while, I was watching Days of Our Lives only because of my love of horror, and I found out that one of the characters was possessed by the devil. So I watched it for that segment alone, but yeah. And then I used to watch like nighttime soaps like Knots Landing and Dynasty, that kind of thing. But for actual soap operas, I would have to stick with As the World Turns, Guiding Light, and for a short time, Days of Our Lives. Have you ever played sports, either team or individual? When I was a kid, I was on a Little League team, but I've never really liked sports, never really been a fan. Although watching it is a definite no. I just find it boring. Participating is a little different because you are actively doing something, but to just sit and watch sports, no. But to play, yes, I did. I did play Little League. I used to play tennis and racquetball for a brief time, but I've never really been a real sports type of person. And number 10, the last question. If you got locked up, what would it be for? My first thought would be speeding, although you don't get locked up for speeding typically unless it's like at a dangerous speed, and I never go that fast. But I do go a little over the speed limit, especially since I love to get places. But I think if it were something I could actually be arrested for, I would probably say it would be probably stalking. And not intentional stalking. But I would get so like, oh my God, that's such and such a person, and I can't believe it. And I'd probably follow them all over the place and unintentionally get arrested for stalking. But I would never actually stalk somebody. But I could see myself accidentally getting arrested for that. So I would have to say that's the one. And those are the 10 questions this week. Kim, you went really easy on us, and I appreciate it after Jimmy's difficult questions last week. And I am going to tag, once again, Jennifer Lynn and her husband Charlie from Charlie Shows You How. And again, they may not be able to get to it because Jennifer Lynn already does like 4 videos per week. So I will give her some slack and not expect it to be done. But if she'd like to, with Charlie especially, they did do one last week and it was very entertaining. And yeah, so I'm going to tag them. And I look forward to the next set of questions. I believe the next set of questions will be coming from Joan at Joan's Pointed Plate. So I hope she, like Kim, will go a little easy on us. But we will see. So if you would, please like this video Subscribe to the channel. Typically what I'm doing here is showing recipes that have helped me lose over 125 pounds to try to give you other alternatives. And comment below with your responses to some of these questions. I'll leave the questions in the description box along with other links like to my recipe blog, my Instagram, my Facebook group, and I will tag the other channels that I know are doing tags. So until next time, thanks for watching and getting to know me a little better. I'll see you later. Bye.